You're not losing against the world, you're losing against yourself. The noise, the doubt, the pressure, the expectations, none of it is coming from outside. You built it, you empowered it, and now it controls you. But here's the truth. No one ever told you the version of you that's been holding you back is terrified of the version you're about to become. Today, that ends, because once you understand these 7 rules, you won't just silence the world, you'll silence the voice inside you that's been running your life. Let's begin. Rule 1, silence the internal crowd. Every morning, before you even take your first conscious breath, an audience gathers in the shadows of your mind. You don't see them, but you feel them. The tension in your shoulders, the hesitation in your decisions, the quiet fear that someone somewhere is judging your every move. This audience has no faces, no names, no real existence. Yet somehow they've become the loudest force in your life. These phantom critics whisper that you must perform, stay small, stay safe, stay acceptable. And without realizing it, you obey. This is the invisible prison of modern life. We've become actors in a play no one asked us to audition for. We craft our words to avoid misunderstanding, adjust our goals to avoid criticism, filter our personalities to avoid disapproval. We live with the constant pressure of imaginary spectators, analyzing our every step. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You created this crowd. You rehearsed for them, feared them, fed them, and allowed them to occupy your mind rent-free. Most people you fear disappointing aren't thinking about you at all. They're too busy battling their own internal audiences. So here we are, billions of people performing for ghosts that don't even look up. The ancient Stoics saw this trap centuries before social media amplified it. Marcus Aurelius commanded armies, governed nations, influenced millions. Yet his deepest thoughts were written privately, for his own correction and clarity, not for applause. He understood something most of us forget. Inner noise is more dangerous than outer criticism. He wrote, "Withdraw into yourself. The perfect tranquility lies within. To silence the internal crowd, you must first acknowledge its origins." That voice telling you they'll judge you is not the world. It's fear wearing the world's face. That hesitation before expressing your true self is not humility, it's conditioning. That anxiety before making a bold choice is not intuition. It's the echo of past wounds still trying to protect you. Stoic wisdom teaches that the mind becomes quiet, not when the world stops speaking, but when you stop listening to what doesn't matter. This silence is not the absence of sound, it is the absence of unnecessary influence. So how do you silence the internal crowd? First, expose the lie. When your thoughts whisper, what will they think? Challenge them. Who exactly is they? Can I name even one person whose judgment truly matters here? Almost always you cannot. The fear dissolves once you see the emptiness behind it. Second, shift the spotlight. Your mind is not a stage. It is a workshop. Move from performance to presence. Instead of imagining how your actions will be perceived, focus on how your actions will shape you. Ask, is this choice aligned with my values or aligned with their expectations? Third, return to the moment. The internal crowd thrives on past mistakes and future anxieties. But in the present, the real present, there is no audience, only you and the step in front of you. Breathe, feel your body, do the task. Let the world shrink to the size of this moment. In this stillness, your true self emerges. When the internal crowd falls silent, the world changes. You begin to move freely. You speak with clarity instead of hesitation. You pursue goals that excite you, not ones that impress others. You start living as the main character of your own story, not a side character in an imaginary narrative created by fear. Silencing the internal crowd doesn't make you cold, distant, or antisocial. It makes you sovereign. You stop needing permission. You stop chasing approval. You stop apologizing for existing the way you were meant to exist. And in that silence, you rediscover a deeper power. The power of a person whose actions are rooted not in fear, but in truth. Your life becomes your own the moment you stop performing for people who aren't even watching. Rule 2. Move without an audience. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize something quietly devastating. Almost every decision they've made, from the clothes they wear to the dreams they chased, was shaped by the imagined reactions of others. Not the real opinions of real people, but projections, assumptions, shadows. You've been choreographing your entire existence based on what you think people might say, not what they actually think. And ironically, the very people whose judgment you fear. They're too consumed with their own insecurities to give more than a passing thought to your life. Yet, you've moved through years behaving as if the whole world were watching. This is the tragedy of modern living. We've turned our lives into public performances, where every step feels like it must be justified, approved, or applauded. You hesitate before taking bold action because you imagine a crowd raising their eyebrows. You stop yourself from trying something new because you anticipate their whispers. You dim your light because you assume someone will think it's too much. But here's a truth with the force of a punch. There is no audience. There never was. There is only you, and the life you're either living or avoiding. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." He wasn't exaggerating. Your fears about how people see you exist mostly in imagination, not in the real world. The bulk of your hesitation comes not from genuine social danger, but from ancient instincts misfiring in a digital age. The Stoics understood that human beings collapse when their actions depend on validation. They taught that strength comes from internal direction, a compass set by your own values, not by applause. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you moved as if nobody were watching. You would speak your mind with honesty. You would change careers without fear. You would dress the way that feels right to you, not the way trends dictate. You would finally begin the projects you've been postponing for years. You would become the version of yourself you've always felt inside, but never had the courage to reveal. To move without an audience means to become sovereign, to reclaim the authority you've been giving away since childhood. It means understanding that your life is not a referendum for public opinion. It means acting from authenticity instead of fear. Here is how you begin. Challenge the invisible judge. The next time you hesitate because of what people will think, ask yourself, which people? What names? What faces? Often, the judge in your mind dissolves the moment you try to identify them. Act before you feel ready. The body waits for permission. The mind waits for certainty. But courage waits for nothing. Take the action, even a small one, before your doubts gather momentum. Nothing silences imaginary critics faster than motion. To honor your true preferences. Wear the outfit you want. Try the hobby no one expects. Say no when you mean no. Say yes when you want yes. Every authentic microaction breaks another link in the chain of imagined judgment. Let discomfort teach you. The first time you act without performing, you'll feel naked. Good. That's growth. You're shedding the armor that never protected you in the first place. Because here's the paradox. When you finally move like nobody is watching, people do start watching, but for a different reason. Not because they're judging, but because authenticity is rare and magnetic. You become a lighthouse. You inspire others simply by existing as your true self. The Stoics lived this truth in the harshest environments. Marcus Aurelius led armies and ruled an empire, yet maintained absolute independence from the expectations of others. His strength came not from public approval, but from a quiet alignment between conviction and action. Your life changes the moment you stop performing and start living. When you stop imagining spectators, when you stop waiting for applause, when you start moving based on the voice within rather than the noise around. There is only one person who must approve of your path, the one walking it. Move without an audience, and you will finally feel the weight lift from your shoulders. You will become faster, lighter, clearer. You will no longer need to be understood because you will no longer be performing. You will simply be becoming. Rule 3. Keep your energy expensive. There is a silent crisis happening inside you, one you rarely acknowledge because you've grown used to it. Every day you wake up with a limited amount of energy, mental, emotional, spiritual. Yet without realizing it, you spend this energy like someone who doesn't believe the bill will ever come. You give your attention to meaningless conversations. You give your emotions to people who drain. You give your time to obligations you don't care about. You give your peace to problems you cannot solve, and then you wonder why you feel empty, unfocused, exhausted, and uninspired. Here's the truth. Your life feels heavy because your energy has become cheap. Marcus Aurelius ruled the largest empire in the world, yet he protected his inner energy with more ferocity than he protected Rome. He understood something modern people forget. Your energy is your empire. Lose control of it, and everything else collapses. The Stoics believed that energy is a form of virtue, and virtue must be guarded with discipline. They treated their energy like rare gold, spent only on what was meaningful, withheld from what was trivial. But you've been spending your gold on pennies. Look at your day. Look at the people you allow access to your mind. Look at the tasks you accept out of guilt, fear, or habit. Look at how quickly you abandon your own priorities to accommodate someone else's chaos. Every yes that doesn't align with your values is a withdrawal from your life's energy. And most people go bankrupt before noon, keeping your energy. Expensive is not selfishness, it's strategy, it's survival, it's remembering that your greatest contribution to this world, your work, your ideas, your creativity, your presence requires energy. And if you let the world drain you, you have nothing left for what actually matters. Here's how you reclaim your power. Stop giving discounts. You've been offering unlimited emotional availability to people who give you the bare minimum in return. You've been offering your time to people who don't respect it. You've been giving your kindness to people who treat it as their entitlement. From this moment on, raise the price. The people who value you will pay it. The ones who don't were never worth the energy anyway. Master the clean no, not the soft, apologetic, shaky no that begs for permission. But the Stoic no, short, firm, unapologetic. No, I can't take that on. No, I'm not available. No, that doesn't align with my priorities. A clean no protects 1,000 future yeses, the ones that actually matter. Stop negotiating with chaos. Some people thrive on drama. Some conversations exist to drain. Some situations are emotional black holes. They don't need your opinion. They don't need your explanation. They don't need your involvement. You're not obligated to enter every war. You're invited to. Sometimes the greatest show of strength is silence. Sometimes the highest form of intelligence is detachment. Invest where your energy multiplies, your energy grows. When you spend it on your craft, your health, your learning, your peace, your personal vision, meaningful relationships, purposeful action, these areas don't drain you, they compound. When you invest here, your energy returns stronger, clearer, sharper. Choose presence over performance. When you stop trying to be everywhere, when you stop trying to please everyone, when you stop trying to respond to everything, you finally discover the depth of your own presence. You become someone who speaks less but says more, someone who appears less but matters more, someone who does less but achieves more, because your actions come from clarity, not exhaustion. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. If something costs you your peace, it's too expensive. No matter who or what it is, your peace is the filter through which your entire life operates. If the filter is clogged with noise, negativity, or chaos, everything else becomes harder. Peace is not a luxury. Peace is a prerequisite for power. Recognize that energy is identity. Where your energy goes, your life follows. Give it away carelessly, and your life becomes fragmented. Invest it intentionally, and your life becomes aligned. Keeping your energy expensive is not about creating distance. It's about creating direction. You stop scattering yourself and start shaping yourself. And when you do that, you become someone impossible to drain, someone impossible to manipulate, someone impossible to distract, someone powerful. Your energy defines your world. Guard it, and you will reshape your entire life. Rule 4, kill the echo chamber. Look around you, not at your room, not at your phone, look at your mind. Because whether you realize it or not, you're living inside a mental bubble so tight, so comfortable, so familiar that it's slowly suffocating your potential. This bubble has a name, the echo chamber, a psychological prison where the only voices you hear are your own beliefs bouncing back at you. You think you're thinking, but you're actually recycling the same ideas you absorbed from your environment years ago. Most people spend decades inside this invisible cage, never questioning it, never challenging it, never breaking it. And it's not because they're weak, it's because the echo chamber feels safe. It makes you feel right. It makes you feel validated. It makes you feel comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of transformation. And the echo chamber is the most dangerous comfort of all, because it convinces you that growth is happening when it's not. The illusion of wisdom, your echo chamber isn't just your friend group. It's your social media feed. It's your YouTube algorithm. It's the podcasts you choose. It's the people you call when you're upset. It's the advice you take without questioning. Slowly, quietly, subtly, you've built a world where everything you hear confirms what you already believe. But here's the terrifying truth. If your ideas are never challenged, they will never grow. If your beliefs are never questioned, they will never strengthen. If your thoughts are never examined, they will remain shallow. Socrates, perhaps the greatest mind in human history, said the wisest man is the one who admits he knows nothing. Because that empty space inside the mind is where growth begins. Your echo chamber fills that space with noise, so there's no room left for evolution. The cost of agreement, if every friend you have agrees with every decision you make. You don't have friends, you have cheerleaders. If every comment you see fits your worldview, you're not informed, you're indoctrinated. If every piece of content you consume confirms your assumptions, you're not learning, you're being hypnotized. The Stoics feared one thing more than death: ignorance disguised as certainty. Marcus Aurelius surrounded himself with advisors who disagreed with him, not because he enjoyed conflict, but because he wanted truth, not comfort. Growth happens at the edge of discomfort. Wisdom begins where certainty ends. Why the echo chamber feels so good? Your brain loves confirmation. It rewards you chemically every time someone agrees with you, every time a post aligns with your beliefs, every time you hear what you want to hear. This creates a loop, a trap, a digital cocoon of psychological cotton, and before you realize it, you're stuck, not physically, mentally. You haven't heard a new idea in years. You're living inside a mental hallway with no doors. But here's the good news. If you can recognize the echo chamber, you can kill it. Break the bubble. Stoic-style killing. Your echo chamber doesn't mean surrounding yourself with negativity or conflict. It means exposing yourself to depth, diversity, and challenge. Here's how to do it the Stoic way. A. Seek conversations that challenge you. Talk to people who think differently, not to debate, to understand. Seneca studied under people who opposed his worldview because it sharpened him. B. Add friction to your thinking. Ask, what if I'm wrong? What would someone wiser than me say? What if the opposite were true? These questions pry open the locked doors of the mind. C. Upgrade your mentors. Stop taking advice from people who haven't built the life you want. Your circle influences your ceiling. If your friends are stuck, predictable, stagnant, guess what happens to you? D. Force variety. Into your mental diet, read an author who intimidates you. Watch a documentary outside your comfort zone. Learn a skill you previously dismissed. Growth is in the unfamiliar. Stop trusting your first thoughts. Your first opinion is rarely your best one. It's just your past speaking, your conditioning, your bubble. Let your second and third thoughts have a say. When you kill the echo chamber, you become dangerous, not dangerous to others, dangerous to your old self. Because suddenly, you can think independently. Suddenly, you aren't manipulated by trends. Suddenly, you aren't intimidated by disagreement. Suddenly, you can admit when you're wrong without feeling small. Suddenly, your ideas deepen, sharpen, mature. People who break their echo chamber become rare. People who stay inside it become predictable, and predictable people can never lead, build, or transform. You are not meant to be predictable. You are meant to be evolving. The moment, everything changes. When you break your echo chamber, you stop living on autopilot. You stop responding like the old version of yourself. You stop repeating recycled opinions. You start thinking originally. You start seeing clearly. You start growing consciously. Your mind becomes your own again. Not an algorithm, not a crowd, not a culture. And that is the first step toward becoming unstoppable. Rule 5, watch, don't react. Take a moment and imagine this. You're standing in the center of a storm. Wind tearing at your clothes, debris flying past your face, the world swirling violently around you. Yet you remain still, calm, grounded. That's what true inner strength looks like. Not the absence of chaos, but the refusal to let chaos move you. Most people never reach this level of mastery because they're addicted to reacting. And yes, it is an addiction. Reaction is fast. Reaction is emotional. Reaction is impulsive. Reaction feels good in the moment. But here's the truth you don't want to hear. Every reaction you give steals a piece of your power. Every reaction you give makes you more predictable. Every reaction you give trains your mind to stay weak. And worst of all, when you react instantly, you're not responding to reality. You're responding to your past, your trauma, your fears, your insecurities, your ego. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago. Epictetus said, "When something happens, the only thing you control is your opinion about it. It's the opinion, not the event, that destroys your peace." The space where your power lives, Viktor Frankl said it perfectly centuries later. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. That space is everything. That space is your freedom. That space is your strength. That space is where the weak become warriors and the reactive become rulers. But here's the problem. Most people have shrunk that space down to zero. Someone insults them, they explode. Someone disappoints them, they spiral. Someone disagrees, they argue. Someone posts something online, their whole mood collapses. A single email ruins their day. A single message ruins their week. A single thought ruins their self-respect. That's not a life. That's slavery to impulse. Watching instead of reacting means reclaiming that stolen space. The space where your mind becomes yours again. Why reaction is your enemy? Think about your last 5 painful moments. Were they caused by what happened or by how you responded? Someone criticized you, you overthought it. Someone ignored your message, you assumed the worst. Someone made a sharp comment, you attacked back and escalated the conflict. Something didn't go your way, you panicked and made 10 things worse. Your reaction became bigger than the event. Your reaction became the real problem. Your reaction became the reason you felt defeated. This is why the Stoics trained themselves daily to feel everything, but follow nothing impulsively. You're not a robot. You will feel frustration, fear, anger, jealousy, but feeling something doesn't mean obeying it. The first emotion is not wisdom, it's just a signal. Observation turns it into understanding. Reaction turns it into destruction. Watching yourself is a superpower. To watch means to become the observer, not the puppet. When someone triggers you, try this. Step outside yourself. Watch the emotion rise. Notice the thoughts forming. See the tension in your chest. Feel the impulse to defend or attack. And don't move. Just watch. You'll notice something incredible. The emotion wants to take control, but it can't unless you let it. Your reaction needs your permission, and awareness denies it that permission. This is the power Marcus Aurelius wrote about when he said, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Not reacting is not weakness. It is strength in its purest, highest form." And the reaction reflex is rooted in the ego. When you react instantly, it's rarely about the event. It's about protecting your ego, your identity, your pride, your story about who you are. Reaction is your ego saying, "I can't tolerate disrespect. I can't stand being misunderstood. I need them to see my side. I need them to like me. I must correct this." But the moment you need anything from someone else, you give them power over you, and the Stoics refuse to live like that. Seneca wrote, "He who angers you conquers you. If someone can control your reaction, they control you." Watching breaks this control. You become the mountain that notices the storm, but does not bow to it. Practical Stoic techniques to master watching. The 3-breath rule. Before responding to anything, take 3 conscious breaths. This interrupts the emotional reflex and activates the rational mind. B. The will this matter in 5 days. Test most reactions feel urgent, but solve nothing. This question instantly reveals if your reaction is useless. C. Delay the first impulse. Say to yourself, "This is just my first emotion, not my final decision." Wait 10 to 30 seconds. It is life-changing. D. Ask, "What outcome do I actually want?" Reaction ruins outcomes. Response achieves them. E. Become curious. Instead of defensive, when you get triggered, ask, "Why did that bother me so much?" Curiosity ends reactivity. 6. What happens? When you become a watcher, you become untouchable, not cold, calm, not passive, powerful. Suddenly, someone insults you. You stay composed. Someone disagrees. You listen. Someone criticizes. You consider it without collapsing. Someone provokes. You don't give them the satisfaction of reacting. Life throws chaos. You choose your response. Nothing is more intimidating than a person who cannot be emotionally hijacked. People feel your presence differently. You speak less, but your words carry weight. You move slower, but with purpose. You think clearer because your mind is no longer on fire all day. You feel powerful not because you control the world, but because you finally control yourself. Rule 6. Turn your back on clout. There is a silent addiction spreading through the world, one more dangerous than anything you can drink, smoke, or swallow. It doesn't destroy your lungs, it destroys your identity. It doesn't cloud your vision, it clouds your purpose. It doesn't steal your health, it steals your life. That addiction is clout, the desperate need to be seen, to be admired, to be validated, to feel important in the eyes of strangers who don't even know your middle name. And the most tragic part, people now spend more time performing their life than actually living it. They work harder on their online image than on their real-world character. They chase applause from the crowd instead of respect from themselves. The Stoics warned about this trap 2,000 years ago. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt." In today's language, that means we're more afraid of not being seen than of living a meaningless life. But here's the truth, the world hides from you. Clout gives you the illusion of progress, without the reality of progress. You post a motivational quote, it feels like discipline. You show your workout, it feels like fitness. You announce your new project, and it feels like achievement. But none of those things are the real thing. They are shadows, reflections, performances. And like any drug, clout gives you a high, a hit of dopamine, a quick rush of "look at me." But the crash always comes, and the crash is brutal, because once you depend on applause, silence becomes unbearable. Clout hijacks your ambition. When you chase clout, your goals shift in dangerous ways. You start choosing what will look good instead of what will make you grow. You pick activities that get likes instead of activities that build skills. You shape your choices around the audience instead of your purpose. You become a brand, not a person, a performer, not a builder, a content machine, not a creator of substance. Marcus Aurelius warned that fame is meaningless because the people you seek validation from will die, and so will their opinions. If the judgment of the dead matters more than the judgment of your own conscience, you've already lost yourself. Clout tricks your brain into thinking you've already won. This is the part nobody talks about. When you share your goals publicly, I'm going to lose weight, I'm starting a business, I'm writing a book, your brain rewards you with dopamine, as if the goal is already accomplished. That satisfaction kills your drive. You feel the reward before you've earned it. You feel the victory before you've fought the battle. The Stoics understood this psychological trap. Never announce your ambitions, announce your results. The work must happen in silence because silence builds momentum, and momentum builds mastery. Exposure weakens your discipline. Every time you post your progress, you invite envy, doubt, projection, misunderstanding, jealousy, unwanted opinions. You expose your fragile early steps to the noise of the world, and nothing kills discipline faster than outside voices whispering in your ear. A dream in its infancy is like a seed, powerful but vulnerable. Expose it too early, and it dies before it can grow roots. Clout makes you a slave to an algorithm. This is the part most people never escape from. You start checking views, then likes, then comments, then you refresh and refresh and refresh again. Your worth becomes tied to numbers you cannot control. You allow invisible systems to dictate your mood. You give your peace to a machine that doesn't know you exist. Epictetus would have laughed at this madness. To depend on external validation is to hand over your happiness to the world, and the world is a terrible caretaker. Turn your back on clout and watch your life elevate. Here's the Stoic alternative, and it's rare, powerful, and liberating. Build in silence, not because you're hiding, but because you're focusing. Grow in private, because growth is sacred, not a performance. Let your results speak loudly, clearly, undeniably when they're ready. When you stop performing for the world, you start performing at a higher level for yourself. Your focus deepens, your discipline strengthens, your confidence becomes unshakable, because it comes from within, not from applause. Nothing is more intimidating than a person who works quietly and appears with undeniable results. People will ask, "Where did this version of you come from?" And you'll smile, because you'll know the truth. You were building while they were watching. You were improving while they were posting. You were becoming while they were performing. The Stoic question that destroys clout addiction: ask yourself, would I still do this if no one could ever know about it? If the answer is no, you're doing it for clout, not for growth. If the answer is yes, congratulations, you found something real. Your life is not a performance. You don't need to be seen to be valuable. You don't need applause to be meaningful. You don't need validation to be worthy. Your purpose is internal. Your discipline is internal. Your journey is internal. Turn your back on clout and you'll turn your face toward mastery. Rule 7, protect your comeback story. Every person alive carries two stories, the one the world sees and the one that's quietly being written in the dark, in the moments no one else knows about. Your comeback story is the second one, and right now, whether you realize it or not, you are in the middle of writing it. But here's the part most people never understand. Comeback story only works when it's protected. It only grows in silence. It only transforms you when you stop announcing every chapter and start actually living it. Most people ruin their comeback before it begins because they seek applause for the decision rather than discipline for the execution. They reveal their plans before. They've built the foundation. They share their dreams with people who don't want them to win. They expose their healing to people who benefit from their wounds. A comeback story isn't written with hashtags, posts, or motivational captions. It's written with sweat, failure, sacrifice, and self-respect, all things that grow best in the dark. Silence is the incubator of transformation. Marcus Aurelius wrote his most powerful reflections alone, in a tent, on a battlefield, with no audience. He didn't write for fame. He wrote to shape his character. He wrote because real transformation begins internally, long before the world can see it. Your comeback begins the same way, not in public, not on a feed, not in the eyes of others, but in the quiet decision. I will not be who I used to be. This is sacred work, and sacred work must be protected. Stop announcing battles you haven't fought yet. There is a psychological trap that destroys more transformations than failure ever could. When you talk about your goals, your brain releases dopamine, as if you already achieved them. This tricks you, makes you feel accomplished before you've done the work. It kills your hunger. It steals the fire. You need to become the person you envision. That's why the Stoics kept their internal work private, not because they were hiding, but because they were protecting their drive. Your comeback story doesn't need an audience right now. It needs silence, consistency, discipline, and solitude. Your comeback will confuse people. Let it. Some people loved the weaker version of you because that version was easier to control. Some people loved your chaos because it made them feel better about their own. Some people loved the broken you because it made them feel needed. Your comeback threatens all of them. But here's the liberating truth. You don't owe anyone the old version of you. You don't owe explanations, apologies, or updates. Outgrowing people isn't betrayal. It's evolution. Your comeback story is not a group project. Work in silence. Arrive in power. Think of the most jaw-dropping transformations. You've seen the person who suddenly lost 40 kilos, the friend who went from broke to stable, the quiet co-worker who built a business on the side, the person who healed from heartbreak and came back stronger than ever. None of them documented every step. They disappeared for a while. They worked while no one was watching. Then one day they showed up with evidence instead of promises. That's the Stoic way. Don't talk, build. Don't announce, transform. Don't seek validation, seek mastery. Your comeback requires energy conservation. Every time you explain your journey, every time you debate your progress, every time you defend your decisions, you lose energy meant for the work. Your comeback needs that energy. It needs your focus, not your performance. It needs your discipline, not your explanations. It needs your commitment, not your commentary. When you keep your journey private, you keep your power intact. Your comeback story is a contract with yourself, not with your followers, not with your friends, not with your family, with you only. You know what you've been through. Only you know what you're capable of. Only you know the fire you're trying to rebuild inside yourself. So protect it, guard it, let it grow in silence until the world has no choice but to notice. Reveal your transformation only when it's unshakable, when your new habits become identity, when your new strength becomes natural, when your progress is so solid that no criticism, doubt, or jealousy can break it. When people ask, "Where have you been?" you'll answer, "Becoming." That is the Stoic comeback, quiet, intentional, unstoppable. You've reached the end of these 7 rules. But the truth is this: you're standing at the beginning of a new version of yourself, a version that isn't built on noise, approval, or performance, but on discipline, clarity, and inner strength. Most people never get here. They spend their entire lives reacting, pleasing, performing, always looking outward, never inward. But by reading this far, you've already stepped out of the crowd. You've already proven you're ready for something deeper, because transformation doesn't happen in public. It happens quietly, in the decisions no one sees, in the discipline no one applauds, in the moments where you choose growth over comfort. That's where your new life begins. This is what you must carry with you. Your life changes through the small, silent choices when you stop feeding the noise. When you move without caring who's watching. When you guard your energy like something sacred. When you destroy old thought patterns. When you respond with intention instead of reacting blindly. When you choose substance over clout. When you protect your comeback story until it's unshakable. These choices shape the person you become. And with each quiet step, you become someone stronger, someone more centered, more disciplined, more grounded. People will notice the change. Some will support it, some will feel threatened by it, some will try to pull you back into old patterns. Let them. You're not responsible for their discomfort, you're responsible for your evolution. As Marcus Aurelius said, be indifferent to what makes no difference. Your old life makes no difference now, your new one is waiting. So here's your real beginning. Stop announcing your growth. Stop performing your progress. Stop seeking external permission. Build in silence. Rise in silence. Return in power. And when you finally reveal the person you're becoming, the world won't just see a change, they'll see a transformation. If this message hit you deeply, you seal it now, like the video, as a commitment to yourself. Subscribe to the channel for more Stoic strength. Comment this affirmation to anchor your new identity. I rise in silence. I return in power. This isn't the end. This is your turning point.